welcome in to the PHNX Sports Podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and drop us a 5-star review. You know me, it's your girl,
DJ Mackie,
Makayla Perkins, and the one, the only Shawn DePaz.
Yo.
Happy Friday, everybody. This Friday is a little bit more special than other Fridays because, drumroll please, it's our 2-year anniversary!
Kind of. Tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow
but
is officially the day,
it's
but we're celebrating
anniversary
today.
observed today.
Yes, anniversary observed. 2 years of PHNX. Holy crap on a stick. I can't believe
That is crazy.
it's been 2 years already of bringing you guys sports coverage of the PHNX Sports Podcast as a company. 2 years, Shawn.
Gone through a lot.
That's a lot of time.
A lot of change. 2 years ago, I was still in school. So I guess it's not my 2-year anniversary. I started in December.
Okay, it's my 2-year anniversary.
December of after the launch. So it's my, 22-month anniversary? But yeah, I mean, you think about the old studio.
Oh my gosh, the many shoebox old studio.
The many different forms that this show would go back when you were having to find new people to be on it every week.
Yep. This used to be like a panel show where like a bunch of rotating guests would come on.
Yep.
A lot of changes. We've come so far. Yeah, it's been a lot, but it's all been great. Honestly, this has been the best 2 years of my life. For those of you that don't know, I started at DNVR in Denver, which is the mothership of all of this craziness. And it was one random day in, I want to say, July that Brandon Spano, our CEO, came to me and said, hey, we're going to expand and we're going to Phoenix first. And because you have been to Phoenix, guess what? You're going to Phoenix too. And I was like, all right, let's do this thing. So I packed up my stuff. I drove my U-Haul down here and I got COVID along with my mom and my dad. We all got sick and we moved into my apartment to start this thing. And I was sick as a dog. And I remember I had to launch this network. Okay. This was the first time we were expanding. I had to launch this network. I was responsible for launching it on social media and I had to do it in confinement in my home from my bedroom while everybody else was in studio because I had COVID. So
I mean, that was the thing. I say it's my 22-month anniversary, but I got here. I did one Coyote show, and then I went on vacation for a week, and then I came back, and we were all remote for like 2 weeks because everyone was getting sick and getting COVID. So I didn't it was like a month after I started working here before I really got to start spending time around everybody. But yeah, I mean, for me, I remember at one time I was at Cronkite, the Cronkite News Sports Bureau, and I turned to one of my friends and I was like, I need someone to just hand me a job. And then like less than a week later, Paula, the GOAT, called me into our office and was like, what do you think about PHNX? And I was just like, please. And lo and behold, had some conversations with Saul, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
And now, back then, I was a part-time producer for the Coyote Show, and now I do everything.
Yeah. It's crazy how far we've come. Shawn,
remember Daily Sports Report?
I do remember the Daily Sports Report. Oh my gosh.
That was me.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, Chris is right. It was the shy Shawn era. That was before I was as comfortable. So I was a little more quiet, a little more reserved.
Yeah.
That's the old me, though.
It's crazy how far we've come. Honestly, I'm really proud of how we started, though. I think the launch on social was super successful. The little teaser videos that everyone was dropping got everyone super psyched.
Yeah. And I mean, I there's a lot of people around here who had like known of DNVR. I'm obviously from the East Coast, so I didn't. Yeah. So I'm just on Twitter, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? Like, there's I mean, we do a pretty damn good job at making a moment. And I was just like, but even before, I was just like, oh, there's something happening. I don't know what it is, but there's something happening.
Yeah. I don't like to toot my own horn often, but the launch strategy was entirely my baby, my brainchild. And I'm really proud of how that went. And just to think of how far we've come since that day is so, so crazy. We've added another network since then, our friends in CHGO in Chicago. We've got some more fun things coming very soon.
We're taking over the world.
It's going to be sick. We are taking over. I'm not even going to lie, you guys. Like, we've got a lot of really, really big things happening.
We've got
really
MOON launching next week.
Yeah,
we're going to be going to the moon.
We're going to be on the moon.
Moon sports going crazy. Moon golf. Heard of it?
Yeah.
Insane.
There's been so many fun things that happened, though. Like, I can just think back to some podcast moments that have been my favorite. The Seth Beer walk-off, and we were chugging beer on set. Opening day last year was insane. There's been so many good moments.
Yeah, no, it's been, I mean, we have, it has really been like it was the perfect time for this network to launch. Because the last 2 years, between like good and bad, whether it's I mean, we were the benefactor views-wise of the whole KD saga.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I mean, obviously, like the D-backs being good now.
Yeah.
The Coyotes Coyoteing. There's just been it's been at the very least been a very interesting time to cover the Arizona Coyotes.
History making time.
And then I mean the Cardinals.
Cardinals are a roller coaster ride, but we're here for the roller coaster. They got new
uniforms.
Yeah. Yeah, we got new uniforms. But no matter what, I think my favorite thing about this company is through the good times and the bad times, we are all there for each other. Our community that we've built specifically has been incredible. You guys know who you are. A lot of you are in the chat. Chris, Daniel, Charles Weddell Pike, Elizabeth, Ryan, you guys are our day ones. We're so appreciative of you. I think by far and away, my favorite thing about this company has just been the community that has built from the ground up of just diehard Arizona sports fans, people that care about the sports teams, that care about the community, that care about what we do here. And you guys are absolute best. And I think there's no really better way to show you how much we appreciate you than to kind of take you through the last, 48, I guess Friday was the day that we kind of all found out about this.
Oh, yeah.
Our diehards, 30 of them, you guys, 30 plus diehards from across the U.S. in Florida, Australia, even in like across the continent. Okay. We're talking Australia, came together to surprise us with gifts. For each person, every staff member had a personalized gift. Every bag was the person's favorite color. They got personal PHNX little nameplates.
Oh, that's why Chris was asking everybody their favorite color all the time ago.
Just hit. Oh my gosh,
that just hit me.
Sean just realized why Chris was asking us what our favorite color was.
I had forgotten that she was asking all the colors, and I honestly hadn't even thought about the fact that they were all our favorite colors.
Yeah, they were all our favorite colors. Our nameplates had little like personal things about it. Mine says
eucalyptus behind mine?
I don't know. Mine says Makayla, it's your girl Perkins. So shout out to whoever came up with that because that's
Shawn,
my tagline.
Fuck the Stanford tree DePaz.
That's very appropriate.
So appropriate.
Each of our bags had our favorite snacks, candies, and then handwritten letters from people from across the U.S. who are PHNX diehards. And I sobbed.
Making me emotional.
I fully sobbed. I took a picture of myself crying, and I was crying like an actual baby.
I was just over here while other people are around. I'd be reading, and I would just have to stop and like I'd put my hand on my knees. I was like, fuck.
But to put this into perspective, this is a letter, and I hope Chris doesn't mind me reading this out loud. I don't think she will, but Chris, if you do, I'm sorry. But I'm going to read it anyway. This is a letter we got from Chris today. Dear PHNX crew, by now, all or most of you should have been aware of the second anniversary surprise. I wanted to extrapolate a little to help you all understand the basics of how this all went down. One diehard had a crazy idea that we could let you all know how much you impact our daily lives. That person contacted 2 others, and they were enthusiastic, so the first one got organized and reached out to a lot of others through various means. All members of the PHNX fan base had fans that were ready and excited to contribute to the plan. The project took about 2 months. All told, there were about 30 people involved. There were letters from 4 states, including outside of Arizona, California, New York, making it a literal coast-to-coast project. We also had a technology-enhanced contribution from Australia, so we are calling it global. The phrases, snacks, and gifts were taken directly or inspired by comments, snake drafts, or brackets on shows, interactions at PHNX events, or deep dives into social media where needed. If we didn't have data, we improvised. The diehards are the nicest stalkers you could ever have. The gift bags were color matched with great care, with some recon by Emma, who had no idea why Chris was asking for everyone's favorite color. Charles did so much work helping Chris with details. Daniel was there from the beginning and backup setup man if Chris got called away. Karen helped with Chris's very specific bag color, size, and demands. And then there was Spano. He made time amidst the chaos to contribute to all of this, and now he's so excited to find out exactly what went down. A few diehards wrote a note to everyone. Some wrote just 1 or 2. Every single word was from the heart and happily contributed. Some were mailed to Chris. Some were picked up at houses, places of employment, sporting events, and even random parking lots by Chris or Charles. No notes or cards were read by anyone that didn't want them. Chris didn't even read the one she printed. A lot of restraint there. This background is not for accolades, but just to let you know how much we love you. Thank you, and happy second anniversary, PHNX. You guys.
Unbelievable.
So much work and effort went into that. I'm not even kidding. I wish I could show you the picture of me sobbing that I sent to some of the diehards that wrote me letters. I was sobbing like a baby.
Yeah. I'm not going to go too deep into detail, but there was one letter that was written about how, like, somebody's like kid looks up to me, and I was fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. There were some moments
should not have that amount of responsibility, but I don't know if I
want your children to look up to me.
They shouldn't, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah, the letters were beautiful. Here's the evidence of me sobbing. I don't know if you can see my tear-soaked eyes from there, but that's the picture of me fully crying reading these letters. They were beautiful and meant a lot to me. The words that you guys said about how much young girls look up to me, your daughters look up to me, whatever. I was blown away. I am going to get emotional talking about it now, and I'm trying not to cry, but I appreciate you all so much. I know it meant a lot to everyone here at PHNX. We were blown away by the support and the surprise. I can't believe you guys even pulled that off.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
That's they got lives too. Like they do other stuff.
Yes.
Outside of just meeting our fans. So even more impressive.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for that. There was no better way to celebrate our 2nd anniversary as a company than with all of those surprises. You guys are truly why we do what we do. Like, I show up every day to work to make content for the diehards because I know how you guys care about our Phoenix sports community. I'm the same way. I care about Phoenix sports too. And I show up today to work every day to work for the PHNX diehards. So thank you guys so much. That truly was the best thing ever. It made me sob like a baby. And that doesn't happen very often. I'm not very emotional.
Yeah, I am not a very, not outward emotion like that, but it was definitely hit me in the feels.
Yes. So happy 2 years, PHNX. Woo! Woo! Any other thoughts on our anniversary?
Here's so many more.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was joking about us going to the moon, but I do genuinely believe that
we will
PHNX
be on the moon one day.
And All City we're going to be taking over the world.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Very, very exciting things happening very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled. All right. So we do have some Arizona sports news to talk about, actually, because it is the best time of year with football officially back with football that matters.
It's made it's made better by the fact that is it made better or worse by the fact that the Diamondbacks are good right now? Because normally you could be like, baseball season's over. I can turn the attention to football. Actually, we got more than one sport to pay attention to right now. I agree.
The Diamondbacks are still in the playoff hunt.
I'm not complaining about them being in the playoffs. I just we got to split our attention. Where normally we could just basically they're already eliminated. We could,
we need a distraction from the Cardinals, to be honest.
True, that is very true.
It's a great thing that the Diamondbacks are good. You know what else is good? Circle K.
True.
Circle K is my go-to convenience store, gas station, whatever you want to call it. Circle K is the spot. They are America's thirst stop for a reason, and you guys have to download their app and sign up for their Inner Circle program right now.
Have you seen the prices of gas recently?
Yeah. I got gas the other day, fully expecting it to not cost me an arm and a leg, and it did. And it hurt my soul.
Maybe you should join the Inner Circle Club and get 25% off. I should have joined the Inner
Circle Club because you save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups with the Inner Circle program at Circle K, and I should have done it because it's making a difference. It hurts my wallet right now, you guys. It's so bad right now. It's so bad. You also get every 6th selection of a Circle K product for free. That includes pizza, coffee, and ice cold fountain drinks with your Polar Pops. So join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations only. Visit CircleK.com for details.
I don't understand. Well, Circle K makes me a little upset sometimes. They don't make me upset. Whenever I go to Circle K and I get 80 ounces of a soda for 70 cents or whatever it is, I'm like, why are these other places charging me so damn much?
Yeah.
I know damn well you don't have to. You're marking this soda up at $4 500%.
Yeah.
What are we talking? I'm going to the D-backs game and I'm spending $8 on a soda. Yeah. It costs you 79 cents.
Honestly, that's so valid. That's
what are we doing? People at Circle K, at the very least, they're it's a partnership.
Yeah.
They're not trying to rob you.
They're not robbing you. If you need to offset the Polar Pop sugarness, though, you can sign up to get some Factor meal kits delivered to your house because Factor meal kits are America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. They are healthy. They are nutritious. You can get keto options. You can get vegan options. Factor is your go-to. You can get breakfast. You can get shakes. They have so much good stuff, you guys. I've been a fan of Factor before they even started partnering with our show because I don't know how to cook. Breaking news, I'm terrible at cooking. I can burn water. So instead, I just order Factor. They drop the box off at my house, so I don't even have to go grocery shopping because I'm lazy and I don't want to participate in grocery shopping. I just stick that little meal kit in the microwave for 2 minutes and it's ready to go. I don't even put it on a plate and I don't even have to do dishes because I'm also lazy. You mean to tell
me that your fridge isn't full of fun snacks and stuff to cook?
No, it's full of Factor meal kits. If you want to get in on this, I highly recommend it. They are delicious. They're never frozen meals. They're delivered straight to your door. I can't even tell you how amazing it is, you guys. I will sing it from the rooftops. Head to factormeals.com/PHNX50 and use code PHNX50 to get 50% off. That's code PHNX50 at factormeals.com/PHNX50 to get 50% off. The Arizona Diamondbacks.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Kicked that Chicago Cub ass last night, baby. in a very important time.
In a very, very important time for many, many reasons. But yesterday was very exciting if you're an Arizona Diamondbacks fan, because the long-awaited debut of the one, the only Jordan Lawlar.
Yeah, baby.
Jordan Lawlar was the 10th ranked overall prospect in MLB's minor league system. He was one of the highest ranked prospects, if not the highest, I think, in the Diamondbacks system. He is here. He made his debut yesterday. We found out that they were going to give him the call on Wednesday. He debuted on Thursday. And I'm not going to even lie to you, Shawn. I kind of shed a tear of happiness.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Like, I think we talked about a lot in the D-backs show is like, obviously this team has been not as great or as consistent as they were in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
The same can be said for a team like the the Cincinnati Reds, who went through like a very similar thing. They called up Elly De La Cruz. They were not playing that well. They called up Elly De La Cruz, and it injected all of this energy into the team. They started winning a bunch of games. Yeah. Obviously, that's fallen off a little bit, but there's like not a whole lot of time left in the season, and every game matters. So if you can get, if you can get just like an injection of energy from him being called up, and I don't know if you saw Corbin's reaction to when he first learned that Lawlar was getting up, but someone had said it looked like he just found out the girl he had a crush on was single finally. Like he got little eyebrows up, and he's like, "Oh, really?" Like you could tell that they're like the excitement, and then if also he can be really good, then like this makes this team really dangerous down the stretch. And obviously, Ryan said this is a huge series against the Cubs. It could not have come at a better time. This is
the biggest. The next they play the Cubs twice.
4-game
with
series
a little break in
that
the
they're
middle.
in the middle of right now, and then another one.
This is the biggest series of their season.
Yeah, I mean,
point blank period.
Between these four and the three next weekend, absolutely, because this is like a team that you're competing in the wild card with.
Well, let's show them the wild card standings to give them context of why this is so huge.
The Cubs are more than likely locking up the second wild card spot as it stands right now. They got a 3-game lead, but we'll see what happens in this game right now, and obviously the rest of the series. But I mean, if the series if the Diamondbacks sweep the series, if they sweep the series, they take the second or. Well, they would have the head-to-head at that point.
Yeah, and so they'd be second. But they still have 3 more games
to play
at Chase. Yeah.
But at that point, the Cubs couldn't take over the tiebreaker at the very least. So, yeah, I mean, obviously the series is huge. And then you look at what's going on below them. Miami and Cincinnati both only being a half game back. San Francisco being 2.5 games back, which I didn't fully realize. What happened to the Giants? What happened? You guys were in a playoff spot for so long. What happened to you guys? Sorry about it. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, every single game matters. Torey said a few weeks ago that he thinks this is going to come down to the last game of the series, and it's certainly feeling like it because there has been about a half game, 1 game separating these 3 teams for this last wild card spot for the last month. It feels like. So the series is huge, and hopefully Lawlar. I mean, he did yesterday, not directly. He got a hit, but I mean, the Diamondbacks looked good yesterday. Already made a great defensive play on a strike him out, throw him out in this game right now against the Cubs. He seems like he's going to be pretty good. But again, even if he's not, if he can just provide like an injection of energy to the team at a time where they very desperately need it, it's going to be big.
I have a feeling that his impact is going to be bigger than anyone expected. Like Shawn said, yesterday was his debut, and he, at his first at-bat, hit a single. Not that it was the most impressive thing in the world, but what was impressive was the fact that he was zooming.
Yeah.
And he beat out a throw. Like, it was impressive how fast he got to that bag.
And I mean, we got it. Like, Lawlar, scouts and stuff like that have kind of cooled on him recently, but like for the longest time, he was supposed to be like a bona fide Major League Baseball star. Yeah. And I think he still can accomplish that. And I think a lot of people who have quote unquote cooled on him still think that that's the ceiling. It might not be the most likely outcome still, but like even then he is a player with like plus tools at the most important position in the infield or third base, depending on how they use him in Perdomo. But like man, like he could end up being like a very good major, like if not one of the best major league shortstops in all of the games. Obviously not this season. Yeah.
I think what I'm most excited about is the defensive tools that he has. He kind of showed them off yesterday when he had that beautiful, gorgeous stop at the bottom of the 4th.
It's youth, and I know we're going to talk about it in a second, but like as far as obviously he essentially replaced Nick Ahmed, and like no, I mean Nick Ahmed was still really good defensively, but he was obviously older. He didn't have the arm strength. He wasn't nearly as fast as Lawlar is, obviously. So again, I think it goes back to has the potential to be really good, but just having that youth that like it provides energy. And then like we saw a lot of the first half of the season, speed creates chaos. And that's how this team won a lot of games. And obviously
imagine Corbin Carroll and Jordan Lawlar just zooming around the bases.
Yeah, and I mean they
pure
might not
chaos,
even be
chaos on the base paths.
And we still got Jake McCarthy down in AAA. Obviously, Alec is fast in his own right. Geraldo thinks he's faster than Corbin Carroll. I don't know about all that, but Geraldo is not a slow guy. Gabby is fast for a catcher. Like this team's got speed.
Speed kills.
I mean, even Tommy Pham, he's old and he's got speed for a guy who's 80 years old. This team.
Sorry, Tommy.
I mean, I was obviously being dramatic. He's obviously one of the older. He's not Corbin and Lawlar. He's one of the older guys on the team, right? So, like this team, it has the ability to create chaos, and I think that can be the great equalizer if you're playing a team like the Cubs, who on paper have who are a better team than the D-backs on paper. Or you get to the postseason, if you end up having to play a team like the Dodgers or the Braves, speed can, like I said, be a great equalizer.
Yeah. And I think the reason that they called him up was all valid. I think it was the perfect time to call him up. But if you look at his 2023 minor league stats, homeboy was raking. He had a .278 batting average, which is not terrible.
Yeah, and I mean
his OPS was .874 though, which
he struggled early on too, which makes these even more impressive. Like
he's hit 20 home runs.
Yeah.
67 RBIs.
I believe the day before he got called up, he had a 2-home run game.
36 stolen bases. Like
he's good, man.
Like he has 95 runs. Like he's doing really great. So I think that he's going to provide exactly what this team needs at the perfect time. So I'm really glad that the Diamondbacks called him up when he did, because I think it was the best timing. No?
Oh yeah, I mean you needed to do it now. Like we said, every game matters, and you could not afford to lose more games. And the reality is that this makes this team better. Or at least it's not going to make the team worse. So it needed to happen. You could not afford to lose more games. And I think, especially off the back of that Rockies series, which was not nearly as smooth as it should have been. Obviously, Sunday ended up being a big win, but it didn't seem like it was going to be like that for a while. I
was panicking.
Yeah, I was too, because if you lose that series to the Rockies, then it's like, oh, dear God. Oh, God. I'm glad they won, because I had said this on the D-backs the other day. I think the vibes around Lawlar getting called up would have been very different if they had lost that game. It would have felt much more like a desperation move. But
totally agreed.
Yeah, it's just very it made the team better at the most crucial time of the season.
Yeah. Well, speaking of making the team better, obviously, because Lawlar was called up, a counter move had to be made. Mm-hmm. And that counter move just so happened to be DFAing Nick Ahmed, who was the shortstop for the Diamondbacks.
For the last decade.
Nick Ahmed was the longest tenured Diamondback player on the roster. He spent 10 years on the Major League roster. Obviously, we all know, if you've been watching the season, it hasn't been Nick's best season. He had a negative 0.1 WAR. Mm-hmm. So not the best. He was only batting .212.
The story with him goes deeper, because in the sense that, like, and I know we'll watch the clip in a second, but he acknowledges that, like, one of the reasons the move was made is because of his inability to hit against lefties, which has been kind of his calling card. He had really weird reverse splits this year, and it's something that we've talked about on the show a lot. It made it really hard to know how to use Nick Ahmed, because he wasn't hitting good against lefties, but he was hitting really good against righties, but that matchup on paper doesn't make any sense. But then, so you start him against righties, but then they switch pitchers, and then you keep him in the whole game because he's supposed to be good against lefties, and that matchup makes sense on paper, but he's not hitting well. So it's just like it became very hard. And then obviously, like I mentioned, he was a little older, arm strength wasn't there. He still had great range.
He made a lot of stupid fielding mistakes and errors.
His arm. He was
the
just,
amount of times that E6 was on the scorecard was atrocious.
I don't think he was that bad. He was still good with, like, he was defensively was the one thing that, like, kept him on his team. I think was his range. Again, his arm had fallen off significantly, and that's tough being on that side of the field. And I think that definitely reared its ugly head on a few occasions. But, like, ultimately, this move was made for offensive reasons. Like the offense had been idle more or less for a while now. And even the games they were winning were not because the offense was coming out. And like I said, Hazen told Knicks directly that, like, this move was made to address their problems against lefty pitchers. And if they can do that, then this team again becomes a lot more dangerous. Because there was plenty of times, and this is not directly specifically Nick Ahmed, but there's plenty of times where you look at this lineup throughout the year and you're like, that doesn't really, like, get me going at all. And not now that I look at Nick Ahmed or I look at Jordan Lawlar and I'm like, oh, they're gonna have to pitch around this guy because he's deadly. But it's new energy, and you see so many times with young guys, they get to the league, pitchers don't know how to attack them right away, and they just rake off rip. And so even if it was kind of like a comparable thing, I think you have a potential to get some really just a bigger contribution offensively from Jordan Lawlar over these next couple of weeks.
Speaking of which, he is currently at the plate, first and second, nobody out, top of the 8th inning.
Ooh, let us know what happens.
First
Play-by-play
career ribby
from
incoming?
Faj.
He didn't get a ribby.
He tried to lay down a bunt, and it was about the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, but it hit off the front of the plate, so they called it foul. But it would have been disgusting. Yeah. Like, it was just dead.
Yeah, I mean, the move makes sense in every way, shape, and form. Nick was really struggling this year. When you have someone like Jordan Lawlar waiting in the wings, you can't make the excuse of not using him and not utilizing him and calling him up.
Was not in the middle of a playoff race, they don't make this move.
Yeah.
I think they wait on Jordan Lawlar. They let Nick Ahmed finish out the season. I don't think anybody wanted to see like Nick Ahmed in general. Obviously, once you got to this part of the season, once you got to this part of the season, you realize that like it was a move they needed to make. Of course, you want them to make that move, but I mean, in general, like no one wanted the tenure to end like this, right? No. You'd rather let
him retire in the offseason, right off into the sunset, 100%. Whatever. I agree, but like you said, this move had to be made now because they are in the middle of a playoff race.
It's a circumstance for sure.
And I'm glad that Hazen wasn't just sitting on his hands saying like, "Oh, we'll just like see what happens. We'll ride it out. Let Nick Ahmed finish out the season." No, like this move needed to be made now. Yeah. We needed to get Jordan Lawlar here. We needed to let him shine so that we can give ourselves the best chance of making that final push to get into the playoffs. Because if you guys remember the playoff picture, it's a close race. They are only a half game above the next closest person in that wild card spot, and they are in a crucial part of their season. They're playing the Cubs now. They play them again in like a couple days. They've got the Giants on their schedule, and the Giants are on their heels too. So it's just we couldn't sit around and wait.
I think that's important because we saw that early on with the Mad Bum move. That like, and I think that's one of the big criticisms against Hazen and Kendrick had been like, whether them not wanting to be aggressive, not spend money. And like, I get that that's been kind of their MO in the past, and people are still concerned about Kendrick's willingness to spend money, but like, he is eating these contracts. Like Nick Ahmed was making $10 million this year, I think. Mad Bum was making who God knows what. And they realized that if we want to win games, it doesn't matter what it costs, we're going to have to eat these contracts. And I think that's really good for the fans to see that like, the front office knows what we have here. They know what we're doing. Like they want to win, and they're going to. They got to make a tough move to do it. They're going to do it. Hazen didn't. I don't think took any joy in making Nick Ahmed cry. No. Like that's not what he did not want to make that move from on like a personal perspective. I don't think anyone wanted to see him leave the organization. If I don't have any
attachment to him, I would have done it earlier. To be honest.
Probably. I mean, I think the money is important, right? Like, I think that's why it took so long for Mad Bum is you would rather, if you're going to be paying them this money, you would rather him figure it out. And I think obviously it got to a point, it came to a head where like they didn't have any more time. They needed to make the move.
Yeah, I would have done it earlier, but I understand why they waited and why they did it now.
And I mean, I think especially with how part of the reason why they signed Longo, for example, is because they have so many young guys. They want that leadership, and even if his baseball skill had diminished, like that was one thing that didn't. I think obviously Nick Ahmed was well respected within the organization, and I think he provided a lot of leadership. But one thing that we talked about on the D-backs, which makes this a little all kind of ironic, is that Jordan Lawlar specifically talked about in spring training how much he worked with Nick Ahmed, and obviously Lawlar ended up more or less taking the spot, but. Like he's great, and I think one thing I said and I've seen on Twitter is he would make a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Like if whether or not his career is over, Jesse said the other day that he still thinks he has a spot in Major League Baseball. So we'll see. But whenever his career ends, like he would be a terrific member of this organization as a coach of in some way.
Yeah,
so,
obviously he was really well respected in the locker room. He's a great community guy. He was really involved with the Faith and Family Nights with the Diamondbacks organization. He was always willing to go out and do the D-backs Community Cares program. So spending 10 years at a major league organization is nothing to shake a finger at. And, you know, it was a tough move for the front office to make, obviously, because he'd been in the building for so long. And the media, especially our Jesse Friedman, was there after it was announced, and his reaction is a little hard to watch, but this is what Nick Ahmed had to say.
Just disappointed, obviously. Spent a long time here. Just gave it everything I got. You know, just gonna miss the guys, the team. You know, when it happens to other guys, it sucks. You know, you feel for them and you miss them, and just the hard part of our game. You know, just 10 years and ripping a Band-Aid off in 10 minutes.
Oh, That's hard to watch.
Yeah, I
10
mean,
years and ripping the Band-Aid off in 10 minutes.
It is it's the tough part of the industry. Like at the end of the day, it is a business. And again, I don't think anyone wanted it to end for Nick Ahmed like this in the grand scheme of things. It is like, yeah, I mean, it obviously is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, they're in the business of winning baseball games, and this is how things. I mean, like you said, he's been doing this for 10 years. He knows how this works. He's seen it happen to a bunch of other guys, and again, obviously, it was very difficult for him. But I think he, like he said, was fully aware that this is. He just wasn't doing his job this year.
You have to be realistic about the situation, which he was. Definitely sad to see, but we thank Nick Ahmed for the 10 years he spent in the Valley. Obviously, he meant a lot to a lot of people, and a lot of young kids looked up to him. He was a fan favorite at the D-backs fan days when they did them before the season started. So thank you, Nick Ahmed, for the 10 years. We wish you the best of luck in whatever is next. But I'm excited to watch Lawlar ball out. And if we take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Diamondbacks, they are finishing out this 4-game series with the Cubs, which started yesterday. It's still 0-0, right, Jacob? No score. Yeah, 0-0.
Still first and second. Although Corbin, I don't know if that ball was caught or not. But if it wasn't, what is that? Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't caught, there's a run.
Happening.
It's kind of all over the place. If it wasn't caught, I think a run scored.
Okay.
Hey, Derek, did a run score?
Nope, no? We don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
We'll
Jesse just said he didn't catch it.
But
Saya tried to slide and make a catch.
We're not watching the game.
That definitely hit the ground.
So a run scored?
Sure.
Okay.
The scoreboard hasn't updated it. We don't know.
All right. Well, they are finishing out this 4-game series with the Cubs. They're halfway through it after today. And then they're taking on the Mets, and then they're back home against the Cubs and the Giants. And that stretch of 5 games is so crucial. Like I said, the Cubs are just ahead of the Diamondbacks in the wild card race, and then the Giants are nipping at the heels of the Diamondbacks to get into the race and secure that wild card spot. And the Yankees suck, so that'll be nice. The White Sox are also terrible, which will be nice. And I haven't watched anything Astros related, so I have no idea how they're doing.
The Astros are pretty good. They're still the Astros, man. They're in the middle of that AFC or the AL West race. So that's gonna be. We were talking about this again on the D-back show. Like, I have a very dark like reoccurring nightmare that the season is gonna be like 9th inning. Tie game, and Yordan Alvarez is going to step up to the plate.
Wow.
Everyone bring your trash cans to Chase Field and bang on your trash can for the whole game.
I mean, it's going to be a very interesting. We got some real challenges there, and you got some
Walks
teams that you should be able to beat. But I'm not going to say walk in the park, because the Rockies should have been a walk in the park, and they were far from it.
This is true.
So I mean, it's still Major League Baseball, right? Everyone's going to be competing, and especially that Astros series, like those might be those. Depending on how that series goes, it could be a situation where the winner of that series makes the playoffs and the loser doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's going to be high stakes. Going to be a lot of scary hours over this next month.
A lot of scary hours, a lot of holding on for dear life. So strap in, Diamondbacks fans. It is going to be a roller coaster, but I have faith in this team. I'm honestly so shocked. The fact that it is September 8th and the Diamondbacks are 73-68 just is kind of mind-blowing to me. I'm so proud of this team and how they've delivered way above my expectations personally this season. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with the moves they made too. I'm happy about Lawlar's here.
We were talking about this the D-backs crew the other day. Like, it's just such a privilege to be able to like standings watch at this time of the year.
Team.
Well, not even just that, because like you could be a Dodgers fan and you watch a good team, but like it's so exciting to be sitting here and like every game matters. You got to check not only does this game matter, but every other game in the National League matters, and you're constantly watching other scores and the standings, and it's like this is what makes being a sports fan exciting is the kind of the ups and downs, the conflict, the not knowing what's going to happen. I'm sure being a Dodgers fan is plenty of fun. Like, they know they're going to make the playoffs and be competing for a World Series. But like, this is
a run did score, by the way.
We're here.
So 1-0 D-backs top.
Eat your heart out, Cubbies.
Let's go.
But it is, it's. I mean, jeez, can't say it enough.
Leave it to Corbin.
Great time to be a D-backs fan.
Yes,
yeah, leave it to Corbin.
Absolutely. We love standings watching. It gives us a lot to do. But if you want to put your money where your mouth is and show up and support these snakes because they need our butts in seats, head on over to the Game Time app and purchase some tickets. You guys, Game Time is the best place for last-minute ticket deals because their ticket deals are insane. It is so crazy how cheap there are tickets available on
I'll
Game
say
Time.
This, like, it's not. I get that these are D-backs. Have you been to a Cubs game at the against the D-backs? Like, there's people there. It's not like these are cheap just because no one's going to the games.
Yeah.
Like,
so we need to buy all the tickets so that the Cubs fans can't get the tickets and cheer for their team.
The Cubs fans have the tickets already.
We need more Diamondbacks fans there.
We need to fill them up because I'll be damned if we're in the middle of a wild card spot and we are getting the Let's Go Cubs chants are drowning out the Let's Go D-backs chants.
That'll make me so
Show
mad.
up and support the team.
Show up and support the team. Download the Game Time app and get your tickets. Our Game Time Game of the Week is the upcoming Chicago Cubs at the Arizona Diamondbacks series. You can get tickets for the series as low as $19, you guys.
And that's a giveaway night. It's a Serpientes cap giveaway.
That's the Serpientes giveaway night. So get your tickets on Game Time. Go support the Diamondbacks. Do not let Cubs fans take over Chase Field. I will be so upset at all of you if you don't use the Game Time app.
D-backs. They should have done the Corbin Carroll or Zach Gallen Babblehead night this series. I feel like they need to be a little smarter about how they deploy.
If you're at the beginning of the season planning out the promotional schedule, you're like,
But I'm saying this more from Cubs fans are showing up. The only the best D-backs crowds you get are when you give away a bobblehead or you give away a throwback jersey. So do that on this series and you're not gonna have to worry about, regardless of how the season's going, you're not gonna have to worry about as much as about the Cubs fans. It's a damn shame the Yankee series is on the road because if it was here, I would say you got to bring out the pinstripes for that, give them more flashbacks.
So get your tickets to the Cubs game. Get your tickets to the Cubs series. Use the Game Time app now. Download it, create an account, and use promo code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest prices guaranteed. Go shut up the Cubs fans, you guys. This is such a huge series. This is so crucial for the D-backs. Get your butts in your seats and be there and be loud. We also want to give a quick thank you to our friends at Spaghetti Shack. They fed the office this week.
They gave us Italian sausages this week.
Yeah, we got some Italian sausage this week.
Been a long time since I had a good Italian sausage. I was going to say something crazy for a second, but I love Italian sausage. Spaghetti
Shack is the best. They're ASU alum owned and operated. They have so many locations for you to go get some spaghetti, meatballs, garlic bread, a few other fan favorites. Their mission is to provide quality, affordable food as quickly as possible. And let me tell you guys, it is so good. I love Spaghetti Shack.
Not even better than garlic bread. It's just bread, butter, and garlic.
Yeah.
Good garlic bread. And then it's not a little frozen. They take big loaves of bread, slice the motherfuckers in half, give you big pieces of garlic bread. They hook you up.
So good. So thank you to Spaghetti Shack for feeding the office. Spaghetti Shack is celebrating their new ASU location with a grand opening it already happened. So shout out to them for opening their ASU location. You can get your spaghetti, one meatball, and garlic bread now at any Spaghetti Shack throughout the valley. They're great. So go get some spaghetti. It's delicious. All right. Football is officially back. Football that matters is back, which is
Did you watch last night? Did you guys watch any of the game last night?
Yeah, I watched last night, and watching Patrick Mahomes lose was so amazing. I love watching my teams win, but I also love watching Patrick Mahomes lose.
I just love being right more than anything. I tried to tell people that the Lions were better in the trenches.
7 points was too much.
It was and the Lions are better in the trenches. It's a fact, and they were.
Listen,
and that offense is good. They were going to be able to hang up. I just thought the trenches were going to be the difference, and they were.
I have a personal vendetta against the Kansas City Chiefs from now until always. You can write, I hate Kansas City Chiefs on my gravestone when I die. Watching them lose last night.
I want to like the Chiefs, man. I liked the Chiefs. No. They've made me hate them.
No.
I liked Patrick Mahomes.
No.
I like Andy Reid.
No.
But between the way that the fans have treated Mac and I specifically and the Buffalo Bills specific interactions with the Kansas City Chiefs for the last few years, I have to hate the team, and it sucks. It's I don't want to be like that, but I hate you.
I loved every second of watching them lose last night, and now we will get to watch the Cardinals take on the Commanders on Sunday. I thought
you were going to be like, and now we'll get to watch the Cardinals lose.
No.
I was like, damn.
Now we'll watch the Cardinals take on the Commanders on Sunday. Josh Dobbs will be getting the start at quarterback, which we were all anticipating to happen.
Yeah.
What?
They still haven't announced it.
Hypothetically, yes.
It was always
Josh Dobbs will be starting at quarterback, and if he doesn't, I will quit my job. It's going to be an interesting game.
David Blau, you are QB1. Is he still on the roster or did he get cut?
No, I think he got cut.
It was because it's Driscoll, right? It's Driscoll that they kept?
Yeah.
Driscoll, Toon, and Dobbs?
Today at practice.
I thought they kept Driscoll. I don't know.
Kelvin Beachum was the only one that was missing at practice today. He has a little bit of a hand issue going on. So we will potentially be missing one of our tackles on Sunday. Zach Ertz is also still questionable for Sunday. We all were anticipating him to come back, but at practice today, Jonathan Gannon says we'll see how it goes. His status is still uncertain. I would love for Zach Ertz to come back. The sooner the better, in my opinion. I think we need as many people that are veterans to be downfield to help Josh Dobbs as possible.
I think I am always, I know Dobbs is not a rookie, but he's young and slightly inexperienced. And I scream this from the rooftops anytime I get the opportunity. Nothing I love more than an inexperienced quarterback and a good tight end, because they get under pressure, they need a check down, they need a safety valve, they go to the big target, the tight end. And I think I know like McBride, specifically Johnny is a huge fan of McBride, and I think if Ertz doesn't get to play, then it's
I'm also a fan of McBride.
Yeah, it's same. It's an opportunity for him, but I think in this specific situation, having that veteran. And Zach Ertz is one of the best tight ends in football at a point. Obviously, he's a little older now and past his prime, but he's still.
Trey McBride won the best tight end award.
Trey McBride's very good. I just think specifically like in this specific situation, having an experienced tight end like that, like Zach Ertz, could be huge for especially. Commies defense is solid. They've got some solid players on that side of the ball. So I think all of that considered, it would be huge for Dobbs specifically, but in the team in general, to have Zach Ertz.
Yeah, absolutely. We're already missing enough important people. We don't want to add another one to that list. I would love to see it if Zach Ertz could be there on the field on Sunday, but it remains to be seen. Hopefully we'll get an update and we'll not be flying blind into whether or not he will or will not be on the field, but those decisions are normally game time decisions. What are you expecting out of this game on Sunday? A win, a loss?
I think the Cardinals are winning on Sunday. I think it's going to be I think the weather's supposed to be pretty bad, right? I think there's thunderstorms.
Sam Howell versus Josh Dobbs is going to be quite the matchup.
Well, I think if the weather's bad,
it's supposed to thunderstorm.
Then I'm taking the running back matchup. I'm taking
James Conner over Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I think James Conner is going to be the most important player in that team, and I
guess it's what's the Alabama. The one that got shot.
Brian Robinson Jr. Yeah. Any men wish death upon me. But I think if the weather is bad and it ends up being like a really mucky game where they just kind of have to, run the ball, pound the rock, like I think the advantage goes to the Cardinals in that situation. Just because of how much I believe in James Conner. So, kind of regardless, I think they'll win. I think it's a little bit of a. People are acting like the Cardinals are an absolute joke, which I understand, but have we paid any attention to what the Commanders have been over the last decade? An even bigger joke. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, it's
lose the
foregone conclusion.
They lose the owner race too.
Well, not anymore. They have a new owner.
Oh, that's right.
Sold
they do.
It,
This is their first year.
That's the one thing I'm scared about. Like maybe they got rid of Dan Snyder and the curse has been lifted and they're going to be good all of a sudden. If that's the case, then we'll see. But I don't believe in Sam Howell. I don't believe and I think Dobbs has the capability of just kind of, keeping course, being a little bit of a game manager, especially if it's a run-heavy attack. So I think if you're betting on it, there might be some value on the Cards, and I think the Cardinals might. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be nearly as bad in general as people think they're going to be this season.
I hope not.
Especially
if
Kyler comes back. Kyler's a dynamic player. He can make things happen. They have solid players at parts. Like when Marquise Goodwin's fully healthy, he's good. Obviously, James Conner's good. They might have the best safety in all of football in Budda Baker and on defense. Not to mention they spent a 6th overall pick on a tackle, so the line's going to be better, which is going to be great for Kyler when he comes back. Like I don't think this team's going to be nearly as bad as I think they are, and I think the Commies are a great spot for them to prove that point.
Yeah, I really hope not, because I don't really want to suffer through more bad football. I don't know what it is, but when there's not good football to watch, it really kind of makes me sad. Like when my teams are bad, I just check out completely a football season. Like I'm not the type of person that will just invest emotionally into like other like storylines or teams during football season.
That's
especially
what
because
fantasy
I'm
is
not.
for
Well, yeah,
me,
I'm not
because
playing.
it makes
I'm not
it more
playing
entertaining.
fantasy this year, which is my fault. But yeah. So I just like besides like putting on football to take a nap, like when my teams are bad, it just makes it really sad for me, and I just get so disinterested.
And
in football
that's one
season.
thing about the Cardinals is I think, and there's something I've heard the Cardinals crew talk about is that like there's things. There's nothing worse than having a bad team that's also boring.
Yeah.
But there's stuff here to, I think, be really interested in with this team, whether that is the performance of their 6th overall draft pick in Paris Johnson, whether it's just, I mean, I'm really interested in see how Michael Wilson performs. That's a guy that I've heard a lot about in this camp. And then obviously eventually the return of Kyler. They got new jerseys. So there's things I think to be interested in with this team and to kind of keep track of, even if they aren't ultimately, pushing for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. I'm just glad that we have real football that matters back, and they'll be styling out. Allegedly, they're supposed to be wearing their all red uniform combo because the Commanders will be in white.
Yeah, I think they expected it to be a little hotter that game.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But very
I'm just looking forward to the black. I want to see them pull out the all black. Listen, I know the uniforms get hated on, but when you're watching them on TV and you can't see the details, I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're that bad. I like the shade. I mean, I don't think they're good. But I think they play well on TV, especially the whites, which I'm kind of sad they're not wearing them this week.
I disagree. It doesn't matter. It's okay. Real football's back. You know what else is really great to be happy about? OGs. I might be taking an OGs on Sunday because we're gonna have to see how that game goes.
Are you kidding me? Those are my Sundays.
Yeah. Sundays.
Oh, are you? I wake up because the Bills game. Well, Bills game is usually at like 10. I wake up. I throw on my Bills sweatpants. I make some coffee. If the Cardinals are also playing that day, I might throw on like one of my PHNX Cardinals shirt that day. Because listen, I know I'm out here as a Bills fan. I want the Cardinals to be good. Like not like I'm rooting against them. And then I pop OGs, load up on Circle K snacks throughout the day, and I'm literally sitting in my chair, AC blasted, blanket on, just watching football all day. High as shit off the OGs.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. So if you want to participate in some OGs, make sure you head to your local dispensary and pick up their mixed bags option. They have combined the fruits and the creams into one bag, and it is the best thing on the face of the planet. You can also check out their Happy Balance gummies, which are my personal favorite, strawberries and cream flavored. They are a balance of THC and CBD, so definitely check those out. You can go to Instagram and check them out on social at OG's Brands. You can also go to your local dispensary. You must be 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly, and head on over to ogsbrands.com to find a dispensary near you. You can also definitely pop a Four Peaks bottle or can and drink some beer on an NFL Sunday. There's literally nothing better than to enjoy beer and football. It goes hand in hand, and I think the hazy IPA is what I will be indulging in on Sunday while I'm watching the Cardinals play the Commanders. But Four Peaks has the absolute best beer selection. It is brewed right here in Arizona, and there's really no better option for you than Four Peaks. So head on to your local grocery store. You can go down to their 8th Street pub and watch some games there. Make sure you can pick up some Kilt Lifter. It is also pumpkin porter season.
Dude, Four Peaks is going to be, the 8th Street pub is going to be the place to be. Listen, when the weather gets a little cooler and it starts really feeling like football season, nothing like being in the 8th Street pub with, like a pumpkin porter and they make football food.
Yeah.
They make football food.
Sure.
That might be the spot for football Sundays.
Yes, and it is that time of year because Oktoberfest is around the corner. Their haunted brewery tours are coming back.
Did you go to that last year?
I did not.
I'm a scaredy cat.
I don't like anything like that.
I am not a haunted.
The best part was when you went, right?
No, I didn't go.
Yeah,
I'm a scaredy cat.
We're all standing there and he's telling a ghost story, and then one of the brewery vats, like the big vats of beer, it lets off this giant hiss like at the perfect moment.
That's good.
I'm pretty sure that's Saul jumped from one end of the room to the other.
Listen, we went on the tour once we first kind of started this partnership with Four Peaks, and we went on just the regular tour of the brewery, and I was like, I can see why you turn the lights off, it gets dark. Some of that place, that's why I didn't go, because I am a scaredy cat. But if you're the kind of person that likes, I think they were just on TV recently, like a haunted ghost, like a ghost hunters thing, somewhat recently. But if you're the kind of person that lives for like haunted houses and stuff like that, Four Peaks 8th Street Pub.
I don't like that negative energy. I don't invite that into my life. I reject anything that has to do with ghosts or demons. So I won't be there. But if you want to go, definitely do it. Visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find your favorite brewery tours and events.
I don't think there's
like
any
I
demons
said,
at Four Peaks.
Oktoberfest and the Haunted Brewery tours are coming back. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks. Please drink responsibly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our second anniversary show. I cannot believe it's been 2 years of PHNX. What a crazy ride it has been. You guys are all the absolute best. Connor, Charles, thank you so much for everything that you did, Charles. Chris, Elizabeth, Ryan, Rick, Daniel, my mom. Thank you for joining us. You guys are the absolute best. Any final thoughts before we depart our second anniversary show, Shawn?
No, I just appreciate all of y'all. Like I get on here and I say crazy shit all the time, and y'all support me nonetheless.
Yes. You guys are ride or dies.
I appreciate that.
I'm pretty sure I could like do a call to action on my Twitter account and like I would have people show up with pitchforks and knives.
Yeah, you have too much power. I don't like it.
I'm honestly shocked. Like I feel like I'm just a girl with a Twitter account that's like irrelevant, and then I'll tweet something that gets like so much response, and I'm like, oh my god.
I'm gonna move to like England or something like that, or like. But like the countryside, and I'm going to do something to piss Mac off, and I'm going to have diehards on my doorstep.
Yeah, you guys are ride or dies, and I appreciate you so much. I feel like I could just like do a bat signal on Twitter, and people would actually like show up for me. So
I don't know if I got it like that. I think you could start wars. I don't know if I got it like that, but nonetheless, I really do appreciate y'all support. I'm not from here, right? Like I'm from the other side of the country, and I very much have been welcomed with open arms into the Arizona sports community, and I very much appreciate that.
We appreciate you all so much. Mama Chris, especially, Charles Whittle Pike. You have our hearts. We love you. We love you. Chris said we are your soldiers, Mac. I need to not tweet anymore. Someone needs to take my Twitter account away.
I'm going to steal your phone and get you banned off Twitter.
My Twitter needs to be taken away from me. I love you all so much. Thank you for celebrating this second anniversary with us. Here's to 2 more years and many, many more beyond that. PHNX and All City is taking over, you guys. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you all the cool things that are about to happen, but I can't because I've been sworn to secrecy. I promise you guys, though, so many cool things are
Jupiter
happening.
Coming soon.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And hey, if you want to join the family, it's not too late. Sign up to be a diehard. Go to gophnx.com. Join the diehard family. You get so many great benefits, 20% off merch all the time, discounts on events, first dibs on tickets, access to diehard only content and diehard only merch. The list goes on and on. Like join
Cardinals
the diehard family.
Cardinals watch parties.
Yeah, we're doing a watch party out at BetMGM for the Cardinals game on Sunday. Kickoff is at 10, so you can pull up to BetMGM at 9. Yeah. Dude. We're going to be out there.
Oh, it's brunch. Hey, get the pancakes. Get the pancakes. I'm gonna tell you right now, the brunch at the sportsbook, the BetMGM sportsbook is stupid. It goes crazy. I don't even like lemon flavored baked goods. I say it all the time. The lemon buttermilk pancakes that they have.
Lemon bars are elite.
I know. It's a hot take. It is what it is. But their food trust. The breakfast goes crazy. Show up at 9 a.m. You will not regret it. Screw football. Go for the food.
Come to our Cardinals watch party, the BetMGM Sportsbook on Sunday starting at 9 a.m. Sign up to be a diehard and join the best fam. As you saw at the beginning of the show, we have the best diehards on the planet, and you can be one of them. We love you all. We thank you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Go Cards, go D-backs. We'll see you next Friday. Bye.